it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. I want to lay out a very clear picture because especially those who profess to be of God, who profess to be a Christian, there are two paths that are becoming very evident. And one is that you can walk in your life, okay, or be a part of. And one is that you are wrapped up in the religion of Christianity. The other is that you are a disciple of Christ. And the two paths are actually quite different. And the confusion comes is that concepts and the communication of them overlap, but the fundamental truth of which one of each one is very different. So it makes it this very interesting dynamic that's happening between these two paths, and they're growing more and more distinct. And the reason they're becoming more distinct is because it's the time of the end and the separation is happening. And those who are truly disciples of Christ, of the truth, who are truth seekers, they are drawing closer to Christ. Christ is gathering them to himself. And that's why you see people leaving the church system, because he is calling them to himself out of all corruption, out of the world, out of religion, out of everything, because he's bringing in the kingdom. And to enter the kingdom, you've got to be holy as he is holy. You have to have the garments of light that you're wearing. You have to purge all that corruption. So that's what you see what's happening in the lives of people that are truly following after Christ, who is truth, and after his spirit, which is a spirit of wisdom. So within this people that are following after Christ, the disciples of Christ, wisdom is growing in their life. And what testifies to the wisdom in their life is the rest they experience. There's a lot about entering into the rest of God. And that is where you are trusting God to such an extent, the true God in your life, that you are in total rest. And also, because of the truth that you have and the wisdom that you have, it's actually creating rest in your life, and it's creating peace. You see this dynamic throughout the Bible. Now, these people that are been wrapped up in the religion of Christianity, it's a much more thin understanding of the truths of God. And it's sort of like all these truths of God have been reshaped a little bit and very watered down and kind of put into a 1, 2, 3 step program. And in that process, they've lost their true meaning. And so in this Christianity, the religion of Christianity is full of false images. It's full of people that aren't really seeking God, but they've been misled by the prophets and the shepherds. And there's so much about this in the Bible. So God is coming to judge that. Yes, it's been going on for hundreds of years. But in the end is when all that judgment comes, because everything is going to be revealed for what it is. And so everything is being revealed in the religion of Christianity for what it is. It's a lot of false images. It's a lot of doctrines that Satan has twisted himself. He's come in as masquerading as that angel of light, and a lot of people have fallen for that because they did not have a love for the truth. And that's what you see happening, and wisdom is leaving those people. So their lives are becoming full of unrest because they're not acting in the wisdom of God. And remember, the Holy Spirit is wisdom. So when people say, well, the Holy Spirit was here, or I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, or whatever, that's how you test, because the Holy Spirit is wisdom. There is no foolishness in it, and those people's lives will be moving into the true rest that comes from walking in wisdom. Okay, so that's a very clear sign. So I'm laying this out because I feel like a lot of people, spirits are at these crossroads right now. And they have a choice to make. And it's when you're in it, because I've been in both, when you're in it, it's very hard to see it for what it is. It's only really when you come out, like when you come out of the church system, when you pull away from everything, do you get that clarity and that insight. Okay, and what's happening is, to those people that are truly seeking the religion of Christianity and what it really is becoming very obvious. It's so much bondage, it has so many lies in it, and it's keeping people from truly entering into the kingdom of heaven. And it's, in a lot of places, it's become the synagogue of Satan, like it says in Revelation. People have thought they are rich, but they're poor, and they don't even realize it. These people, they're suffering in their life. They have hardship, they have anxiousness, they have stress, and they're saying, well, yeah, but I'm trusting God and I'm in his rest. That's not in his rest. His rest is a very real thing. You experience it in your life. Your life becomes one of peace. And because that is a testimony that you're in the truth and the peace of God. So another thing about the religion of Christianity is removed a lot of the things that would tell you if you're on the right path or not. So if you're trapped, and so it traps people in afflictions and sufferings because they feel like that's just a part of their life, when that's really should be signs to wake you up that something's off. And this is the choices before people. So it's like, you've got to make sure you're walking in truth. So if you're at these crossroads, what I strongly suggest is that because you've got to be taught by God about this. You've got to be led by him. You've got to learn to follow his voice. That is very important. And so I would take a break from all influences, right? And from those other teachings, from church, from all of that. You can trust God in that and dedicate that time period to him. Okay, and take a couple months and dedicate that time with him. Spend that time with him every morning, learning to hear him, seeking his will, tuning into what you're feeling in your spirit. Don't justify it. When you feel those things that are off with the church system and where you're at, listen to that. That's the Spirit trying to guide you, to open up your eyes and say, don't justify what's going on, the hypocrisy, but realize that is not where I want, because I'm bringing in my new kingdom in purity. And so if you want to move into that, you got to leave the old behind. Okay? And again, this is just what's happening in these days. God is purging. He is establishing his new kingdom. There's a huge transition happening. And the more you move into really being that true follower of Christ, which is a seeker of truth, no matter what it is, willing to follow him wherever he goes and trusting him in that, that's going to lead you in the paths of life, and your life is going to start blooming because you're walking in the right way, in the right path after the true God. So here are the two paths before you, and pray to understand this. Pray to see the difference between the two, and bring all these things to God and be taught by him, because he will lead you into the paths of truth. But if you're feeling this, it's very important that you not dismiss it, but you pay very careful attention to it, for your spirit and your soul depends on it. Till next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.